Welcome in. It is day 167, and you're speaking with the Meeples Champion. And it is Christmas Eve. For those of you who celebrate the holiday, whether it be because of religious reasons or just because, as many of us like myself do, we celebrate the holiday just because we always have, not for anything religious at all. Merry Christmas, excitement. I'm sure you're all pumped to be getting to bed tonight, waking up, doing stuff with the family, having your food, opening your presents, or if you don't celebrate, enjoying the fact that you have the day off. Well, to celebrate, I have had a game that I have been so excited to review for you. I had a different version of the game that I picked up first that I considered to review until I saw the Kickstarter for this small expansion that was played by itself. So I said, you know what? I'm going to hold off, and this will be my Christmas Eve. I wasn't sure which day, made the decision for today. This would be the game I'm going to play so that I can introduce the game to you, but also give you a theme. So that game is Dice Throne, Santa versus Krampus. So Dice Throne is essentially a far theme improved version of Yahtzee. It's all the Yahtzee rules. So you're going to get your own special dice for your character, and your character comes with their own board with their own attacks and their own defenses, and then a bunch of cards. So you're going to shuffle your cards up, you're going to get so many cards, and on your turn, you get the Yahtzee set up. I'm going to roll my dice, and then I'm going to pick whatever dice I want to re-roll and re-roll once, and then I'll pick all the dice from all those 5 again to re-roll and re-roll a second time, and now, whatever it is, that's my roll. If you choose at any point that you're happy with the roll you have, you don't have to do a second or a third roll. But once you're done, you're going to take those dice, you're going to place them on the board based on what you rolled, and you're going to see what you've basically unlocked. Now, there's a little difference. It's not straight up identical. Sometimes you're using the numbers off of the sides, so you might be like, oh, I'm going for the straight. But other times you might be going for, well, the symbols on certain sides of it are along with the number is what I'm after. So you might be saying, I'm after Christmas bells and eggnog and other stuff like that these show up on. So you're going to do your roll. You'll connect it to whatever's showing on your board, whether that be the base abilities or an ability that you've upgraded with your card through time. And then once you do that, you're going to basically launch your attack. Now your opponent gets to do a roll. They're going to use their roll to fill into their possible defenses. Now, occasionally you have some kind of a roll. If you do like one of your really powerful ones, it'll say this is undefensible, meaning your opponent can't roll those dice. But most of the time, they're going to roll their dice, and now they're going to fit their dice in. There's usually 3 different possible reactions, and those reactions can't all be done at the same time. So you're going to be able to spend the dice and be like, oh, I could do like a die up here for this reaction, or 2 dice for that reaction, or 2 dice for this reaction. But if you try to mix and match, you can only really get 2 of them in total. There's no way to get all 3. So you'll do those, and it might mitigate some damage. It might do some damage back. It might allow you to grab some of your special tokens. Your special tokens are all very different in each game. You know, you're going to get these present cards, tokens for Krampus, which are, essentially bad, and he's going to be using these to hit your opponent. Santa's going to be getting eggnog tokens, and he's going to be getting sleigh bell tokens, and he can use these to do positive things. And you're going to battle it out back and forth until eventually one of you has dropped your 50 points to 0, and the other person wins. It's a really cool setup. I like it because there are so many. Dice Throne has Season 1, which has 8 characters. Season 2, which is the one I own up in the corner, that has 8 characters. It has a Marvel version with 8 characters. It has an adventure version that allows you to go and actually do an adventure game. I'm not sure if I'd get that one or not, but it does look interesting. It's got Santa versus Krampus, and I believe there was another one on the way, but I'm not sure what it is right now. But the idea being, you've got right now 26 distinct characters. So you could play one-on-one, you could play teams of 2-on-2, you could play free-for-all, do 3 or 4 or 5 or as many people as you want. Yeah, you can make it pretty complicated. If you have 26 people in a room playing, that's going to be pretty nuts. But you could also do tournament style and just do elimination and rando it up as to who gets what character. There's so many ways to play it, but I loved that they were putting this out. And while I wasn't sure I was ever going to get anything more than the one season I picked up, this looked like a have to buy because I loved the idea of having a Christmas seasoned game. you don't see many these days, and if you do, they're usually pretty bad. So for me, this was a game I knew was good with some Christmas characters to make it, so it was a standalone, fun Christmas theme. Why don't we jump in? Let's talk our 7 categories and see where this one really lands for us. I mean, when it comes to the art, the cover says it all. This game is just fun art. It's just Santa and Krampus with well-drawn, great boards, great cards. It's a giant thumbs up. When it comes to those components, so you got your dice, which again, really good dice. I feel like we keep seeing these in so many games. When dice are brought in, they're just top quality. But you also got your cards, which are definitely top of the line stock. And then you get your board, which is, you have this setup of your board for your character that unfolds into this great cardboard setup that shows everything to do. It's really good. Not to mention, there's your counter for your health, and then there's your counter for your spend. And those are really nice little counters that are cardboard built but made to be twisting so that you can keep track of your numbers. It's all really good. It's a thumbs up. Your price. Now, right now, I only just got this game in about a month or so ago, and it's probably not really hitting up huge yet in stores, but I do think it's starting to arrive. And I wouldn't be shocked to find this stocked at your local, either your Barnes & Noble and or your Targets eventually, because it's not going to be part of one of the bigger groups. So I think the likelihood of this making it onto a shelf at one of those is pretty good, especially in the holiday season. That being said, you're definitely going to find this in at least 3 out of 5 board game stores down the line. I think it's a game that's going to be out there. Maybe seasonal, but it will be out there. And as far as price goes, it's not that bad. I want to say this is going to go for right around that 30 to 40 range, probably closer to 30. And I think it's totally worth it for its price. If you already have Dice Throne, it's a couple cool characters to toss in. But if you don't, I didn't want to go buy 2 rando characters because I wanted to have the big box for the season. So even though they give you the option to get smaller and to give yourself a taste of what's out there, it stinks to do that and then to not have the big box. This gives you a chance to get 2 characters to test try the game out and to not feel like you have to give up on that commitment to the big box, because there is no big box for this. So that's a huge plus. It's a thumbs up for me. Your difficulty. So the game isn't easy, but it's not hard. You know, you have to pay attention. How are you going to spend your points? Where's your life points at? You know, what are your roles? What's your options here? How are you putting your cards out? There's a lot to pay attention to, but I don't feel like it loses you. I think this is a game that you can teach to kids. You can have beginners come into, and they're going to be able to pick it up pretty quick. And at the same time, I think experienced and expert players have all seen what Dice Throne is. They like it, and they love the option of your different types of people to play as. Big thumbs up. Replayability. So I think this is a game that you can bring to game night and play with your friends, especially if it's like a low night, you have 2 player, but if you have more than 2, you can fit it in, especially with the season. Yes, this one is a 2 player only game, but if you're going to go pick up multiple boxes, it's going to give you that availability to go outside of a 2 player game. But beyond that, I think it's really cool that when it comes to that replayability, this is a game that can be played in a short amount of time for few players, or can be played in a really long amount of time if you have 4, 5, 6 people in there. And it can be fit into so many different corners of the gaming world. It's a big thumbs up. Your keys to victory. So how are you going to use your attacks? Are you going to risk it? Are you going all out for that big attack and you're going to just take the chances on it? Or are you going to instead focus on making sure you always get an attack through and just go for the cheap ones? Are you going to try and see if you can get more and more of your tokens so you can cash those out to either heal yourself up or be able to use them to attack your opponent directly with unprotected damage? There's a lot of ways to attack this game. You can also build up your points and make better cards so that, hey, that 5 die straight that you made, instead of it only being 7 damage, now I have a card that makes up to 9 damage. when you're improving on those, that's great because now it's making the medium and the lower attacks so much better. I think it's great. It's a thumbs up. Unique. Is the game unique? It's not unique only for one reason, because there's so many other versions to buy of it. But with that being said, they're mixable. It's not like you're buying a game and when you have to choose, you're choosing between, I want to play this or I want to play that game. They can be played together. They're interactive characters. So unlike most of the time where I see a game from a company and the company's made better versions, like say Azul, where it's competing with itself, this game does not compete with itself. You can choose any characters to play. So I'm going to disqualify those from this and say, well, then what's it up against? It's up against Yahtzee? This brings so much more to the table than what Yahtzee was. That's the whole point. It's Yahtzee with theme, with extra ways to use the dice, with cards, with life counters. I think this is so unique of a game. I haven't seen one that has really put them on their heels yet. It's a giant thumbs up. Overall, what do I think of this game? I think that if you're looking for a fun game to play, this is a game you should just pick up and add to your collection. I don't care which version you want, just get it. I think that if you're here as a person who's enjoying Christmas and Christmas Eve and you're looking for a game to play, what a cool theme to be able to bring in a smaller game form for two-player. This could be really fun for the new couples who are doing a Christmas Eve, just the two of them at night, or for you and a kid if you're, hey, I got the kiddo at the house and the husband's in the kitchen making cookies and me and my son want to play a game and you want to go and play together. Here's a great thematic game for it. I think that this is a must buy, a must play. It really works. And if the theme for this one doesn't work, pick one of the others. Do you like Marvel? No? Then go check out one of their 2 seasons with custom characters. They get all over the board. It's really cool. I really like it. But if you don't, that's okay. Maybe you don't like Yahtzee, you don't care about the theme being plastered on it, you don't care about what they've done for the additionals. That's fine. It doesn't have to hit for you. But if it does, check it out. See if you want to go all in on a big box or if you want to start small and go with some Santa versus Krampus. Well, it has been day 167, and we've been speaking about the game Dice Throne Santa versus Krampus. And you've been speaking to the Meeples Champion. Like, share, subscribe, and check down below in the description where I'll be adding an Amazon link in case you want to get this game for your collection. And don't forget, everybody have a great Christmas. Enjoy your holiday or enjoy the day off if that's what you're doing. It's a great time to just relax and play games with family. Until next time, I'll talk to you tomorrow.